All right, thanks, Coach O'Boyle, for joining us. I'll give you the first one, just what your time's been like the last 6 to 8 weeks here that you've been in Boulder, and then we'll open up for questions.
Extremely busy. So once we found out we were on our road to Boulder, it's been on the road recruiting. It's been getting to know the players. It's been recruiting and recruiting and recruiting, basically. So it's been kind of a whirlwind. Since Coach Lewis made the decision to come out here from Kent State.
Coach Brian Howell from the Boulder Daily Camera. You've been coaching for a long time, but I believe this is your first time in Power 5. What's been some differences you've noticed in the first 8 weeks? Now you haven't played games yet, but any differences from here as opposed to where you've been?
You know where I've been from before. A lot of differences. You just overall attitude, the facilities, the type of athletes you're working with. There's such a big change. From pretty much coaching at every level that there is, except for D3. So I've been through them all, and just like I said, overall the facilities and just blew me away when I came in here. I could not believe how nice. And I've been through Boulder before. We practiced here when I was a head coach at Shattern State. We'd practice here when we played at Colorado Mines. And, but you just get to see the practice fields. You don't get to see this, so it's been a big change.
Hi, Coach. Nikki Edwards, CU Sports Report. I'm curious just how you got involved in conversations in coming to Colorado with Sean Lewis.
Basically, I'm along with Coach Lou. I'm the offensive line coach and been with him for 5 years. And just overall honor to be with him, learn his system, and being the offensive line coach. He called me in about 2 weeks before our last game and just said, "What do you think about Colorado?" And I'd been out here for just about 20 years, north here about 5 hours, and said, "Coach, it didn't matter where he went, I was going with him." So that's what it came down to. But again, it's an honor to be here. It's great to be back in this area. Know a lot of people around here, coach a lot of kids around here. So it's like I said, it's great to be here in Boulder.
Hi, Coach. Adam Munster Tiger, 24/7 Sports. Coach Lewis obviously runs an up-tempo system offensively. What specific traits as a result of that do you look for when you're recruiting an offensive lineman?
We pretty much changed all of how we look at an offensive lineman out of high school and what we're looking at, of course, now with the junior colleges in the portal. Biggest thing I look at is how athletic they are. And I'm not just saying this as a recruiting point, but the offense we run is, for an offensive lineman, it's a blast. I mean, you're pulling, you're moving. You're not just moving from here to the end of the desk. You have to be athletic. You have to be able to play in space, change direction. And it's exciting. You're not thinking about it, but you're running all the time. And it's really changed on how we recruit a kid and what he can do on the field, how he moves, how he changes direction, how athletic he is. All those come into play now. It's not just about being big and strong and stiff anymore and moving 3 feet. You have to be able to get out and move in space. And that's the biggest thing I look at right now.
Hey, Coach. Jake Schwanitz, DMVR Sports. You obviously followed Coach Lewis over, but you guys also brought Savion Washington with you. What kind of player is Colorado getting in him, and what can he do for this offense?
You're getting a great character kid. You're getting a great athlete. I've known Savion, man. He came to our camps at Kent when he was a sophomore or junior. 6'8", man. I think he's been 6'8" forever, and he's really grown into a great player, and I think his ceiling is still climbing. I think he's got a lot of potential, and we're still working with that. But I was holding my breath the whole time. When you're at the Power 5 now, or when you're at the Group of 5, and you develop a kid as a freshman or sophomore in this day and age, you're holding your breath the whole time if somebody doesn't come in and take them. And that was the deal with Savion. We knew, matter of fact, I talked to Coach Lewis this summer at a summer camp, and we were watching some bigger athletes, some kids in some camps, and I just said, man, it's just a matter of time for Savion, and fortunately, we end up coming here and we end up getting him here. So big things ahead for Savion.
Hey, Coach Ryan, Koenigsberg, DNVR. You use the word fun when talking about this offense for offensive linemen. When I watch it, I think of the word demanding. I'm curious if you agree with that, and if so, what's the key to coaching this and getting guys to work in this system?
I think overall just work ethic. I wouldn't call it demanding. I think it's just part of the job. And, one of the things we take a lot of pride in, and it's just from the guys that coached me and the offensive line coaches, I was fortunate enough to grow up under. The fun comes with winning, obviously. And that's what we have to work toward. But just the daily grind of it when you're out there is taken away by what you do. Being able to pull on a safety, being able to pull from the backside all the way to the corner on the other side. I mean, the things we can do with this offense, like I said, you're not just running 3 yards and turning around and getting in a huddle. Those days are gone with this group. So I think the funnest part for me right now is the practices, obviously, and just developing these guys in the offseason and looking forward to spring ball. It's going to be night and day compared to what they're used to, and I'm hoping they believe me, and I'm reminding them every day.
Hey, Coach, Tyler King, Denver Gazette. You mentioned your time at Chadron State. I'm just curious, what you learned during that period of time and kind of what you remember about the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. Obviously, Colorado School of Mines has been very successful, local team the last couple of years there. What do you remember about that time, and what did you learn about yourself while you were there?
Basically, you grow up in Division II. I miss Division II, to be honest with you. I miss the relationships. I miss the staff we had. I miss the players. I was asked earlier what the difference is between Power 5 and Colorado and a place like Chadron State. Depth, obviously. You don't have the depth, but there's kids there that I would take right now that I had in those days. The toughness part, Danny Woodhead, Joe McClain, our quarterback. I can name off 50 guys, that we had at Chadron, and obviously the coaching staff. The guys I coached around. Those guys can coach anywhere. So learned a lot, obviously, and especially as being a coordinator, a strength coach, a head coach, to painting the game fields on Thursday, to doing the laundry, to you do it all. And I love that stuff. I still do it now if I could. I'm not paying near, but I'm doing as much as I can.
Two more. Go ahead, Jack.
Hi, Coach. Jack Harlow with the Buffalo's Wire. Not sure how much film you've watched. I know Coach Lewis said he hasn't watched much, but just curious what your overall thoughts are on the current group of O-linemen at CU.
A lot of work to do, and that's just from I'm never going to knock any other programs or any other staffs, but we've got a lot of ground to make up strength-wise. The physical part really has to come along, and that's something that jumped out right off the bat, and that's going to happen. But I think the overall development, and like I said before, I think getting these guys in a mindset to where we're going to run 100 plays a game, and we might hit 150 plays in practice. Just getting that attitude to where get yourself ready. It's coming. And I mentioned that before, and you hope they believe you. But I think right now the kids are doing a great job in the weight room. They're doing a great job with the little time we get with them throughout the week. And that's why I said before, I cannot wait until spring ball.
Last one. Coach, Sean Keeler at the Denver Post let you out with a deep one here. How is working for Deion Sanders different than what you thought or might have thought because you're working with him for the first time? And how is it similar? How is it what you expected so far, and how is it different? Because we're all learning that too.
I love the fact that he is, and I didn't know Coach Prime at all before I took the job, just the old school approach. Not saying I'm an old timer, but just being around the guys that coach me, that I've been with. I love the discipline part of it. That's a big deal to me, and he brings that up every day. I love his staff meetings. He doesn't beat around the bush. You're going to know exactly where you stand with him. There are so many great qualities that I love about him. How there are no individuals on that practice field. Everybody dresses the same, or you don't come out to practice. So just that mindset that we're in this together. Nobody's a separate, nobody's an individual. And he constantly reminds us, of where we're at and what you should be doing. And I love that fact, man. He doesn't beat around the bush, and those are the kind of guys I love.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate the
Yep.
time.